command. Okay, suppose if you want to know whether another host is alive or not, આપણે જાણવું છે કે if our another host is alive or not. So that type of things we can't find using the IPv4. Okay, suppose આપણે જાણવું છે કે if your destination is alive or not, so that type of things we can't know using the IP protocol. Okay. For example, sometimes the network administrator needs information from another host or router. Okay. So suppose આપણે જે કે પણ network ને data મોકલેલો છે, whether that host is alive or not, that we want to know. So that type of mechanism is not available with the IPv4. So for these two reasons, we require this ICMPv4. So ICMP has been designed as a companion to the IP protocol. So we can say that IP protocol is the primary protocol, but we can say that ICMP is a supplementary protocol of the IP. Okay. જ્યારે આપણે ICMP થી કઈ ને કઈ ડેટા મોકલવો હોય ત્યારે આપણને IP તો જોઈશે જ. Okay. How it is going to be done? So ICMP itself is a network layer protocol. However, its messages are not passed directly to the data link layer as would be expected. Okay. So directly આપણે ICMP થી data ના મોકલી શકીએ, but what we have to do is the messages are first encapsulated inside IP datagram before going to the lower layer. Okay. For example, જ્યારે આપણે IP નું format જોયેલું, at that time we have seen one field as a protocol field. Okay, we have seen one field as a protocol field. Okay, so what is going to be happen જ્યારે આપણે ICMP થી કઈ પણ ડેટા મોકલાવતા હોય ત્યારે ICMP નો ડેટા we will put ICMP નો header plus data. ICMP નો header plus data આપણે IP ના ડેટા પોર્શન માં મૂકી દઈશું. જ્યારે આપણે ICMP થી કઈ પણ મેસેજ મોકલાવો હોય ત્યારે ICMP નો જે આખો મેસેજ છે, that is consist of header plus data, that whole message will put in this data section of the IP, and then we should inform to the sender that this is the part of the ICMP protocol. So for that, what we will do in this protocol field, we will set the value for the ICMP. We have seen that for the ICMP the protocol value is 1. Okay. So protocol માં આપણે value set કરીશું 1. Okay. So when these things are received by the source can know that આ જે કઈ data section માં જે કઈ પણ value છે, that is the value of the ICMP. Data section માં જે કઈ પણ value છે તે કોની છે? તો ICMP ની. એ source ને કઈ રીતે ખબર પડે કે આપણે protocol માં value set કરી છે 1. Okay. તો protocol માં value 1 હોય તો આ data કોનો કહેવાય? તો data કહેવાય આપણો ICMP નો. Okay. તેવી protocol માં value છે આપણી 2, તો data કોનો છે? તો ICMP નો. Protocol માં value 6 છે તો data કોનો છે? તો TCP નો. Okay. So by that way we can say that ICMP is not a primary protocol, but ICMP is a part of the IP protocol. Okay. So that's why ICMP થી આપણે જ્યારે કઈ પણ message create કરીએ તો header plus data, there are two things we have to put into the data section of the IP, and then we have to set the protocol field as 1 to indicate that the IP payload is a, we can say IP payload, or we can say the IP data is an ICMP message. Okay. So ICMP messages are divided into the two broad categories. First one is the error reporting message, and second one is the query messages. Okay. So the error reporting messages report problems that a router or a host may encounter when it processes an IP packet. Okay. So for example, we have seen that there are some reasons due to which the source, or we can say destination, may be unreachable. We will see that all type of messages due to which the errors are going to be generated. Okay. And second category is query messages that comes in the pair of request and reply. That comes in a pair of request and reply. That we have to send the request, and in the response we are getting the reply, like our ping message. Okay. So these two type of messages are using by the ICMP. Okay. So what is the format of these ICMP messages? Okay. So we can see here that these are the error reporting messages, and these are the query messages. Okay. The header section of this error reporting messages, same with the header section of query messages, both consist of 16 bytes. 4 bytes. Okay. But in the 16 bytes, the first 4 bits, the first four bytes, or we can say that the total 32 bits. જે આપણી પહેલી 32 bit છે. So that the first 32 bits are common in error reporting messages as well as in the query messages. Okay. So this first 32 bits, or we can say that the first 4 bytes. Okay. પહેલી byte, બીજી byte, ત્રીજી અને ચોથી byte. Okay. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The first 4 bytes are common in error reporting messages and query messages. Okay. So this first 4 bytes consist of 3 fields. The first one is type, second byte indicating the code, and the third and fourth byte indicating the checksum. Okay. So in the error reporting messages, the type field can be, if it is 03, then it is indicating that destination unreachable. You will see that all 5 types of error reporting messages. Okay. So if your message is destination unreachable, so your type is 03 and code value can be varied from 0 to 50. Okay. એવા ઘણા બધા reason હોય જેના લીધે destination unreachable error can be generated. Okay. So બધા માટે we can have different codes that is assigned. Okay. Code 0, code 1 up to code 15 values can be possible. Okay. Same way, we have the second type of error, that is the source quench error. Okay. So તેના માટે type છે આપણી 4 and the code value is only single, that is 0. Okay. Then we have the redirection error. In our type value 5, code can be from 0 to 3. Then we have the time exceed error. In our type 11 and code can be 0 and 1. And we have the parameter problem error, in which the type is 12 and code can be either 0 or 1. We will see in detail all these 5 types of error. Same way for the query messages, we can have 2 types of query messages that can be echo request and echo reply, or we can have a timestamp request and timestamp reply. Okay, so echo request and echo reply that we can compare with our ping command, and while this timestamp request and reply that we can compare with our that is trace rt command. Okay, trace rt command ki apne one by one we are calculating the RTT time, that is the round trip time. Okay, so if we require the detailed explanation of the route, then we are sending that is timestamp request and reply. But if you want to know whether the destination is alive or not, send only the ping command. Okay. So for the echo request, we have the type 08, and for the echo reply, we have the type 0. Okay. For the timestamp request, we have the type 13, and for the timestamp reply, we have the type quad 14. Okay. What is going to be happen? Okay. So the first error reporting message is destination unreachable. Okay. So it is the most widely used error message, that is the destination unreachable. Okay. So this message will use the different codes. The code value can be 0 to 15 to define the type of error message and the reason why a datagram has not reached its final destination. For example, code 0 tells the source that a host is unreachable. Okay. For example, let's say કે આપણે HTTP protocol નો યુઝ કરતા હોય. ઓકે, અને જો તમારું સર્વર ડાઉન હોય તો તમારો ડેટા ડેસ્ટિનેશન સુધી નહીં પહોંચે. ઓકે, તમારા સર્વર સુધી નહીં પહોંચે. ઓકે, તો આ ટાઈપની એરર જો આપણે સોર્સને રિપોર્ટ કરવી હોય તો તેના માટે આપણે શું કરીએ, તો વી કેન યુઝ ધીસ ટાઈપ 3 મેસેજ. એના માટે કોડની વેલ્યુ આપણે કેટલી સેટ કરવાની, કોડની વેલ્યુ આપણે 0 સેટ કરવાની. ઓકે, so this type of error can be reported to the source, that due to that the server down, the data is not able to reach to the destination. Okay. Second type of error is source quench. Okay, so which number type 4. So type 4 indicates that this one is the source quench error. So what is the meaning of source quench? That it will inform the sender that the network has encountered the congestion and the datagram has been dropped. What is the meaning of congestion? કે નેટવર્કની કેપેસિટી છે એના કરતા જો આપણો વધારે ડેટા જો આપણો નેટવર્કમાં આવી જાય, then it will create the congestion. Okay, so if the congestion has been encountered, then we should inform the source that you should slow down your speed of sending. Okay, source ને આપણે inform કરવા પડે કે now you should slow down your speed of sending. Okay, so for that we can use this type 4 source quench message. Okay, so we can say that ICMP adds a kind of congestion control mechanism to the IP protocol by using this type of message. Okay. તો જ્યારે આપણું નેટવર્કની અંદર congestion create થઈ જાય અને if your packet is going to be dropped, so this type of error can be informed to the source by this source pinch message. The third one is the redirection message, that when the source uses the wrong router to send out its message. Okay, suppose જ્યારે આપણું source પાસેથી data નીકળ્યો છે and it is forwarded to the default router. Okay, but if the IP address of the default router is wrong, we should inform the source that whatever data you have sent, that is redirect to some another router, but your actual router is this one. Okay, so in the response it is sending the IP address of the default router. So by that way, now the source can set its default router value to the value that is sent by this redirection message. Fifth one is the parameter problem. Okay, so a parameter problem in our type છે આપણી 12. So can be sent when either there is a problem in the header of a datagram or some options are missing or cannot be interpreted. Okay, if there is a problem in the header of the datagram. Okay, એ કઈ રીતે ખબર પડે કે header માં problem છે કે જો આપણું checksum ની value match નહીં થતી હોય. So at that time we are sending the parameter problem. So એના માટે type આપણે set કરવાની છે 12. અને code હશે આપણો 0. Okay, and sometimes it may possible that some of the options are missing or cannot be interpreted. So એના માટે type 12 રહેશે, but code ની value થશે આપણી 1. Okay, the second category of ICMP is query messages. Okay, so એના માટે the query messages, we know that query messages આના માટે use થાય. તો આપણે જાણવું છે કે જે સામેનો host છે જે live છે કે નહીં. Okay, so for that the second thing is we can check whether the our next host is alive or not. And second thing is if we want to find out the round trip time. Okay, that means આપણા બે ડિવાઇસ વચ્ચે ડેટા ને પહોંચવા માટે કેટલો ટાઈમ લાગશે. ઓકે, તો તે ટાઈમ જો આપણે જાણવું હોય, so for that we can use this query messages. Okay, so this query messages comes in pair, that is the request and reply. Okay, so first one was echo request and echo reply. Okay, so for that we know that we can use the ping message. So that ping and ping and that trace RT both comes in the category of ICMP messages. Okay, so echo request માટે type છે 8 અને echo reply માટે type છે આપણું 0. Okay, so it will check whether the host is alive or not. Second one was timestamp request and timestamp reply. Timestamp request માટે છે type 13 and timestamp reply માટે છે આપણી type 14. Okay, so that means if you want to find out the round trip time, RTT time, that is time required to send our data plus time required to get the acknowledgement. Okay, so this time is known as round trip time. So that time if we want to know, then we can use the timestamp request. Okay, and in the response we can get the timestamp reply. Okay, also if you want to check whether the clocks in two devices are synchronized or not. Okay, જે બે device વચ્ચે આપણે ડેટા મોકલવાનો છે એનો clock synchronized છે કે નહીં. So for that also we can use the timestamp request and timestamp reply. Okay, so there are several tools that can be used in the internet for debugging. For example, we can determine the viability of a host or a router. We can trace the route of a packet. So we have introduced the two tools that use the ICMP for debugging. The first one was ping and second one was trace route. Okay, so this both command we have referred in the practical number 2. જ્યારે આપણે practical 2 માં બધા command જોયેલા, at that time we have referred this ping and trace route. Okay, so you can refer that practical to learn about the ping and trace route. Okay, so ping is using that echo request and echo reply. એના માટે આપણે ICMP message નો use કરીએ છીએ, while this trace R2 is using that timestamp request and timestamp reply. એના માટે પણ આપણે ICMP message નો use કરીએ છીએ. Okay, next topic is about the congestion control that we'll see in the next lecture. Okay, congestion control and IPv6. So these two topics are remaining that we'll complete in the next lecture, and meanwhile